All right, hello everyone, and welcome to this month's Oracle reading. So this is going to be for the month of October. Now, every reading that I do is a timeless reading, which means that even if you're not watching this in October and you're watching this 4 months from now, 2 years from now, if it resonates with you, it's going to be your reading for the time being, okay? All my readings are going to be timeless. But if you are keeping up with every single video that I'm doing each month, then you're going to wind up at this one, which is October's video. So today we're going to do something a little bit different because it is officially spooky season. So we're going to be focusing on the shadow self. So our shadows, what have we been hiding? What have we not been looking at within ourselves? What are some illusions that we are believing in? What's going on with our shadow self in general, all aspects? What does our shadow self have to say to us? Are we integrating it? Are we not integrating it? Are we shying away from it? Are we scared of our shadow selves? All of that is going to be revealed in today's reading. So we have 3 piles here today. We have pile number 1, pile number 2, and pile number 3. They each have different objects on them to help you kind of feel which one is the best pile for you. So for pile number 1, we have our sage bundle. For pile number 2, we have our black candle. And for pile number 3, we have our Palo Santo. All right, so go ahead, take your time, meditate on these cards, and I will see you at your pile. All right, hello pile number 1s. This is for those of you who have chosen the Sage Bundle. So today's reading is going to go a little bit different than how it usually goes. I actually only have 1 card right now, and the rest I'm going to shuffle. And I'm going to be shuffling them from this deck that is not brand new to me, but it is the very first time that I'm divining with them, so it is brand new in terms of usage, and it's really, really great at those darker elements and darker themes of life. So that's exactly what we're going to tap into today, and I'll shuffle about 2 of those cards unless any more pop out. But let's go ahead and see first what this oracle has to say about your October. Okay, we have the card that says here Enchanted Forest in reverse though, and it says Mystery, Magic, Excitement in reverse. I'm going to go ahead and pull a couple cards, see what else we have as our message for this month. Okay, we had 2 more cards, so give me just 1 moment here to pick out all of these meanings. Okay, one of the biggest messages I'm picking out here from your shadow self is that in October, recently you've been experiencing this, but in October it's going to come to a head where you're going to kind of see things in a different light and see a different kind of truth. One that maybe you've been kind of running away from or hiding from, but it's necessary that you see this truth for what it is and accept it. So when I was talking about recently, what you've been going through recently, what I see here is you've been living under an illusion that is really keeping you from being as productive as you want to be, and it's keeping you from charging forward either in life or with some sort of passion or goal, maybe even relationship. So what I can feel from this specific pile is that recently a lot of your thoughts, you know, as much as you are trying to affirm, as much as you are trying to maybe reprogram your mind, you haven't really seen the benefits of it quite yet. And if you have not been affirming, and if you have not been reprogramming your mind, that's a very good place to start. So either switching up how you are reprogramming your mind, maybe the tools and the methods and the techniques that you've been practicing just are not for you, and it's time to kind of switch it up and evolve the way that you're doing them so that they are more effective, or you just need to adopt a practice altogether in the first place if you have not been. So we're talking about your subconscious mind here. We're talking about really the nitty gritty. Our subconscious mind rules 95% of our mind, basically. That's what, you know, it creates. And we have 5% of our mind that it's our conscious waking mind. So with that being said, if we have, you know, 95% of our mind or our mentality playing on this autopilot record of the same tune, and you don't really resonate with it, and you're not happy with where you are in life right now, you're not happy with your self-esteem or your identity, or you're not happy with you know, how certain projects are developing, or maybe they're not even developed yet. If you're just at all frustrated or really at your wit's end with how your life has been showing up lately, it's really time to get into that subconscious mind of yours. And so we can do that with subliminals, we can do that with affirmations, we can do that with mirror work, we can do that with journaling. But you definitely do need something consistent, and there's something that keeps ringing in my ear that keeps telling me that subliminals might just be the trick for you guys. So if it's something that has to deal with career, work, and success, go ahead and find some subliminals that you can listen to in your sleep, or you can listen to while you're meditating, or you can listen to while you're like doing the dishes. Listen to that motivational content if you need help with your motivation. Listen to content about the soul if you need some work with the soul, if you're maybe in a dark night of the soul and you're just needing to understand different versions of yourself and different elements of yourself in a different way. So yeah, this is getting a little bit woo-woo, but I know that you guys are following along with me. But a lot of this has to deal with almost even your self-worth is what I want to say. It's like you are comparing your self-worth to what you're seeing externally in your life right now, or at least recently, and you're like, something's not adding up, something's not matching. Like, you know, I believe this thing about myself, or at least I'm trying to, but I'm not seeing it out in my physical reality yet. And I think that because you're not seeing it in your physical reality yet, you are using that dissatisfaction and pointing it towards yourself in a way that is not helping you at all. And it's devaluing who you are. It's devaluing your work. It's devaluing the time and effort that you spend on trying. And I really want to point out to you guys, my pile number ones, that, you know, if you're trying, if you're continuing to try, and even if you're failing, that's fine. That's perfect. I want to like reinforce that even if you are not exactly happy with where you are right now in life, or you're not exactly happy with what you're seeing in life right now, you're still perfectly fine being where you are. Coming to this reading is a part of your awareness. It's a part of your understanding of your intuition to realize deeper truths within yourself. And that's exactly why we're doing this kind of a spread today, to understand what are we not looking at. Because obviously I'm trying this, I'm trying that, I'm doing that, I'm doing this, you know, like you're doing all the physical work and labor that needs to happen. But there's still something that's not matching, and it's really just energetic. And that's why I get so woo-woo in all of these videos, because usually it's about the energy that we're putting off, and the energy of how we're thinking of ourselves, how we're treating ourselves, and how we're balancing our emotions, how we're balancing ourselves in general, our mind, body, and soul. So I just want to kind of like lay off some pressure for you guys, because I can see this happening in your world, and it's like been a repeat thing for you guys, and I can tell that it's very frustrating, and a lot of you are maybe on the brink of giving up, either giving up on yourself, giving up on spirituality, giving up on this career or this project or this relationship. I can tell that you guys are really close to like your, again, wit's end, which is what I mentioned earlier. But you are perfectly fine where you are right now. Everything in life right now is meant to be as it is in this moment, okay? So I want to like just help you relieve some of that pressure with letting you know that everything is fine as it is right now. Just because you feel that you're not at a certain stage in life that you want to be, or you're not a certain version of yourself that you want to be, does not mean that you cannot get there. Just because it's not here right now, it does not mean that you cannot get there eventually, okay? I always like to say that if you really resonate with something and if you desire something, it desires you. Like it's not one-sided. It's going to come to you once you are in perfect alignment with it. And so to help you get into alignment with that, I think that for you, again, the subliminals are really going to help. Any motivational speeches or researching people who are in a certain spot that you want to be in. So if it's a career, manifest people or manifest, finding people online or in real life that have that working out for them. If it's a relationship, if it's a certain secure attachment style that you're wanting to develop, then Google those people and find those people and manifest those people into your life so that you can see externally someone else having what you have. And sometimes that is more than enough to really make you also believe that you can do it for yourself too. So I really need you guys to like use your community or use the people that are on the internet to help you see that if they can do it, you can do it too. Because now is not the time to give up. You only fail truly if you stop trying and if you give up. But if you keep trying, you're at least chipping away at something. Even if this is like serving as a major blockage for you in life, you're still chipping away at it. So yes, I understand that it's frustrating. Yes, I understand that you're tired. And it's perfectly okay to be frustrated, and it's perfectly okay to be tired, but just know that this is not the end for you. You're long from the end. And when I say end, I mean like this battle is not over. And I don't want that, I don't even want that sentence to frustrate you. It's not like, oh, you're gonna have to keep battling and battling and battling. Like, no, it's like you're in a tough spot right now. I know that you can get creative and think your way out of it. And I know that you can get creative and balance your way out of it and align your way out of it. And not every single part of this quote unquote battle is going to be fighting, and it's going to be, treacherous, and it's going to be exhausting. Some of this battle, a lot of this battle is actually going to be like, wow, I feel stronger. And that's why we have the strength card. I feel like I have more stamina. That's why we have the chariot card. I feel like, I finally perfected my work in a way that I'm proud of it. And now that's my new autopilot, is having this perfected work or perfected system or perfected structure or perfected mindset. And so again, I just really want to instill, I don't think confidence is the right word, but just like instilling that vitality within you, instilling that new hope within you that no, this battle's not over. It did not beat you. It did not win over you. You are still in this battle. Now, all parts of this battle are going to be bad and hurt you. Parts of this battle is the triumph of it. Part of this battle is just you kind of saying, all right, well, I'm going to pivot. I'm going to keep pivoting. I'm going to keep pivoting. I'm going to keep finding those open doors. I'm going to keep finding the path of least resistance. I'm going to keep finding another way that actually resonates with me after, I found out this one doesn't work. It's like really just continuing to go through it and knowing that, again, if you desire it, it desires you, no matter what this means to you, what area in life this is really impacting you in. So that's all that I really have for you. I want to kind of have another card here, and I think I'm going to take it from my Moonology deck, just to add some extra comfort for you guys for whatever it is that you're going through in October. But I know and I can feel that your shadow self is here. Like, don't give up. Like, you're fine. Like, I know that this sucks, but it's like the shadow self like really revels in all the things that suck. Like, that's where it lives is sometimes how I think about it. So it's like the shadow self is like, listen, this is not the worst you've ever been through. You're going to get through this. Like, we've seen our way out of many other situations, and it's almost like you need to like integrate the shadow self with all the knowing of, hey, I've been in despair before. I know what that feels like. I've been in trauma before. I know what that feels like. I've been in toxicity before, in chaos before. I know what that feels like. And I got out of it every single time. I moved past it every single time. I never stopped trying, and I got out of it, and I won the battle every single time. So it's like your shadow self has that strength and knows that strength. And maybe it's time for you to integrate more of that shadow self within your being, so that you can understand that, hey, even when shit hits the fan, like, you're not going to be taken down to the sunken place forever. You know what I mean? It's maybe a minor setback, sometimes even a major setback, but it's not an ultimate setback where it's like, no, you cannot have this one thing that you were desiring. So it's not time to give up on that dream. It's not time to give up on the relationship. It's not time to give up on yourself, really. So let me go ahead and find one more card here. For some reason, I knew that card was going to come out. Some of you guys are dealing with family members or friends or, you know, close loved ones that are in the hospital right now, or even recovering addicts right now. This is like a very specific message for only a few of you guys. But that's what I'm feeling right now, that there may be some sort of like health issue, even maybe like court or judicial issue, where you're just not really sure how it's going to turn out for someone. And I can tell that that fear alone has really been impacting you guys. And it's time to have a little bit more faith in the universe. It's time to do your prayers. If you pray, make an altar, set something up like that, so that you can have, you know, this pure energy surrounding whatever issue it is that you're going through. So setting up an altar for yourself or a loved one, even just like having a candle, setting an intention in the candle, and every single time you burn it, that intention is, you know, being fortified and enhanced. So things like that. Like I said earlier, get creative. Different things, you know, different strokes, different folks. Different things are going to work differently for people, and some things that worked for you for a couple months may not work for you in the future, and then you have to kind of switch that up too. So it's all a learning curve. It's all a process, but I know that you're gonna get through it. Now there's one more card in here for you. I can feel it may talk about having faith, because I feel like you're losing a little bit of faith. You're very close to achieving your goal. What was I talking about? I was like, this battle's not over. Like, usually, and I say battle because, I don't know, this Chariot card is here, and it always just reminds me of like getting ready for battle and charging forward and being the conqueror of that battle, and knowing that you're going to be the conqueror of that battle, even if times get tough, and having the strength to just kind of know that, hey, no matter what happens, you know, I'm not going to fall on my face. I'm going to land on my feet. I'm going to be secure. I may not know how. I don't have the blueprints. I can't see exactly how it's going to work out for me, but I have the confidence anyway. I have the faith anyway. But we're talking about battles here and being very close to achieving your goal. And a lot of the times that we feel like giving up, that's the moment that you push just a little bit further, and there's the release, and there's the break that you've been waiting for. So again, if you feel that it's been your breaking point a little bit, I challenge you to break. Like, I challenge you to break a little bit, because it's only going to serve as a release for you. So if you feel, you know, burnt out, and you're like, no, I'm pushed past my limits, then allow yourself to have a break, right? Break can mean many different things. Allow yourself to have your break, and allow yourself to think differently, act differently, behave differently, choose different things. If you are like, no, you know, in this business, I thought I could do it one way, and I can't do it this way, and this is the only way that I planned for, so now I don't know what to do in the future. Like, no, keep pushing forward and break through that blockage, break through whatever it is that's been holding you back. You may not know how to, but if you, again, keep trying, keep pushing, and you're not giving up, you're going to make it through. And it's, again, usually this moment that you're trying to give up that is the best indicator to let you know that you were the closest to achieving your goal. So, my loves, this is all that I really have for you for this month and for your reading. If you have any questions about whatever we talked about in today's reading, go ahead and leave a comment down below, or you can also email me at mystique.awakening@gmail.com. If you're interested in booking a private one-on-one session, then do so by going to mystiqueawakening.com and clicking services. And if you're interested in a mid-month check-in oracle video, then I do have those going on my Patreon account. So make sure that you are signing up to become a Mystic member, so you can see all of the beautiful messages that we have for you for the middle of the month. You can do so by going to mystiqueawakening.com and then going to become a Mystic member. And last but not least, we have our Reiki training going on, and our next cycle is November 1st. So make sure that you are signing up for that so that you can get all of your course materials, get to the orientation week before training begins, okay? So I love you guys very much, and I will see you in the next one. Bye. All right, hello, my lovely pile number 2s. This is for those of you who have chosen the black candle. So this reading is going to be different than the rest of my readings because right now I only have one oracle card down on the table. So we're going to flip this guy over, and then afterwards we're going to get into this new deck, which I have not divined with before, and this is going to be the first time. This deck is really good at talking about different darker themed elements, so we're definitely going to get into this and pop out a couple cards for you, but first let's go ahead and see what's going on with this oracle card. So we have here a hidden gift, sadness and ending, a new beginning. And let's go ahead and see what else we got. Yep, that's so crazy that we have that. I'm gonna pop out one more card. Okay, so I have a message here that's not for everybody, but there is a message here where someone is like really anxious and upset and like worried that they're going to lose their home or living situation. Maybe you're in a relationship and you're afraid of getting like kicked out if you guys live together, or like figuring out how to navigate that if you guys have lived together and now have broken up or separated, or even like losing your job that will allow you to like pay your mortgage, pay your rent, things like that. So either it's just one of you or there's a couple of you that are really, really scared and specifically like anxious about losing something that for you is like, no, I cannot lose this thing. Like, I cannot lose this darn thing. This is like my livelihood. This is like way too much for me. So, what's interesting here is that usually when it comes to us being so fearful of losing something, one of two things can happen, really. We lose it or we don't lose it. And if we don't lose it, we just have to work through this fear, work through this anxiety. And if we do lose it, we're kind of off to a new beginning, right? And we're off to, okay, well, what now? Like, wow, this was like a terrible thing in my mind. I was so fearful of it. And I feel like if it does wind up happening, it's actually not going to be the worst case scenario for you. So even if you do lose that job, even if you do not know where your next living situation is going to be, even if you do, you know, have some sort of custody thing even, I feel like it's not going to be as bad as you're making it out to be in your mind. That's like what your shadow self is trying to say. And then for others of you, you're just not going to like lose it at all. So maybe you guys don't go through the breakup and you guys wind up finding a way to stay together, or you wind up making that money, or someone offers you, you know, a new position and you're able to stay at your place. So there's something here where it's like you guys are almost like overly anxious and overly fearful of losing something, and your shadow self wants to let you know that you don't have to be overdoing it, really. And you overdoing it is just causing yourself more suffering. So that's really what I'm like feeling here with you guys. Some of you guys are also like afraid of losing a talent of yours. And now this message that I have is really like specific to only a couple people. Maybe someone got injured. Like I'm sensing some sort of like injury or some sort of like amputation even, where maybe you were someone who like always uses your hands for work and now like you have to get a finger removed because of some sort of disease. Like there's something here where it's like, or even like you break your hand and you're like, oh my gosh, now I cannot work for X amount of days or X amount of weeks or months. So there's something here where it's like you guys are afraid that you cannot use your talent anymore. You cannot use like, you know, what you rely on to live. And that's also something that is like a fear for you guys. And again, right now, I just want to let you know that your shadow self is trying to get you out of being so fearful, because you're doing this thing where you're spiraling, and your reactions and your behaviors in this world, let me tell you, mean everything. And right now you're reacting and behaving to something that has not even happened yet, at least, because we don't know exactly what's going to happen with you. But Again, there's only two options that can happen. Either it is going to work out or it's not going to work out. And let me tell you again, even if it does not work out, it's not as bad as you were dreaming it up to be. So stop dreaming it up to be so bad. And there's almost like a message from your shadow self saying, hey, actually, is there a way that you can find any sort of morsel of comfort in it not going your way? Like, is there another option that you can rely on? Is there another thing that you can do? Is there another venue that you can, you know, venture towards as a secondary option for yourself? Like, don't minimize your opportunities by having all this fear. You know, the fear that you are harboring right now and you're reacting to and you're behaving with, that is just perpetuating your suffering of the current moment. It's not making the future for you any better or any worse. So it's like, if you're truly that afraid of something going the wrong way, then try to find some sort of comfort in, okay, if it doesn't go the right way, I will still have this working for me. Or if it doesn't go this way, I'm already going to be working on another way. Or if it doesn't work this way, I'm going to just know that something is going to happen. The universe is going to help me out. I'm going to have my good luck, because usually when we're feeling that we're at our lowest point, that's when we have major spiritual support from our spirit guides, our higher selves, ascended masters, any sort of energies or beings that you work with on another plane that usually come to help you in the times that are the most brutal for us. So don't be afraid that you're doing this and doing it alone and you don't have any support. Even if you physically don't have any members of your family or your friends or anyone who are like helping you right now, you still have spirit helping you, and you still have your shadow self healing you and helping you and supporting you as well. So lean on your higher self, lean on your shadow self, integrate the both of them so that you can find a little bit of peace and comfort in the present moment, because it's like nothing scary has happened yet. You are being the scary. You are being the scary. So allow yourself to either dream up or imagine a different kind of reality of how things are going to turn out, or find some sort of acceptance for the present moment and acceptance for, you know, however the things turn out. So even if it winds up good, accept that. If it winds up bad, find a way to accept that too. That's like the best I can say. And honestly, there's not too much else that is in these cards. So I'm going to go ahead and grab another deck here and see if there are any other messages for you for this month of October. And we have our Moonology deck here, which I love. Messages from the moon. Okay, perfect. So I'm going to get this one here. Oh, wow, we have two purple cards. So talking a lot about our mentality. So your mentality may be very clouded right now by believing things that hurt you, honestly. So what I'm seeing here, it says a time for healing. And this is in a place of challenges right now. So you may be struggling with having or finding a spiritual practice that really works for you at this time, or finding a proper way to heal. And honestly, because of the amount of fear and anxiety that I see here within you, you guys may want to call in for some secondary help. So whether that is calling in and getting, you know, a one-on-one private session that's more tailored to your energy and what you can do, and things that you can like just be aware of to help you throughout the situation, motivate you out of the situation in a mental way, you know. Or even if you're trying to heal yourself energetically and kind of heal this anxiety, heal this fear, maybe it's been like a crazy wild ride for you lately that you haven't really been able to kind of take control of, or you haven't really been able to like get the reins on the situation or even yourself. I would definitely say call in a healer, call in a specialist, call in, you know, a shaman, call in someone who is able to help you through a session and really get into your energy and read that energy for you, analyze it, help break it down to you so you can understand what's going on with yourself energetically, so that you can come out of it feeling a lot more cool, calm, and collected and relaxed, you know, and at peace. The next thing that we have here is the energy is gaining momentum, and which is interesting because we have this paired with a card that was the card of swiftness, so things happening very quickly. Maybe you guys are really pinched and pressed for time when it comes to something, and you're like, oh my gosh, I don't know if I can get this done in this allotted time, or I don't know if I can make this amount of money before I have to owe it, or something like that. And so the time constrictment for some of you guys is something that's causing you a lot of anxiety. time sometimes when you're manifesting can be just the worst. And I feel like it's because we have time as like a man-made construct, and so it's not necessarily natural for us to like live in that. We have learned and have been conditioned to live in, you know, time, but naturally that's just like not how we flow. That's not how we vibrate. That's not, you know, who we are. We are not time. And so when we are constricted to time, that can, you know, make us feel in our body very viscerally like off put or out of balance. And some people have like great time management and really work well with time and understand divine timing, and that's perfect. And some of us just do not, and we just don't know how to like continue going on and moving forward. It's like we don't have enough time in the day, or we just don't have enough time to you know, make this happen when we have so many other things to do. Or maybe we want to get to work, but our mental health is struggling and we just have to take another like mental health day. So I understand how time can be such a big energy for you guys, and especially if you're not on the same page as time, and if you've been struggling with time, I could see how it's been just a really huge issue and block for you. So I would say allow yourself to just kind of be in a timeless zone. So for me, that looks like meditation or even yoga or doing anything that really makes me feel that time does not exist. So whatever that is for you, maybe that's dancing, maybe that's art, maybe that's poetry, maybe that's talking to your neighbor, maybe that's calling your mom on the phone, like whatever it is that makes you feel like time does not exist. I feel like your shadow self wants you to lean into that a little bit more, so that you don't have that constantly like in your subconscious mind, like, oh my God, time for this, time for that, or you don't have enough time for this, you don't have time for that. Like, no, like allow yourself to breathe, allow your spirit to have that freedom without the constriction of time. So that's really all that I'm seeing for you guys, my love. I know that this is a bit deeper, darker. We're talking about the shadow self, so naturally all these elements are going to come right to the surface and really kind of look at us and be the polarity of, you know, what we're thinking and what we're feeling and what we're going through. So I'm happy that you guys landed on this reading today. If you have any questions about anything that you heard in today's spread, you can go ahead and comment it down below, or even ask me via email at mystique.awakening@gmail.com. If you're interested in a private one-on-one session, you can absolutely do so by going to mystiqueawakening.com and clicking on services. You can also get a mid-month check-in if you guys are interested in figuring out what your energy is looking like in the middle of the month, and I have that over on my Mystic members platform. So you can go to mystiqueawakening.com again, and then go to become a Mystic member. And the last thing that we have going on is, of course, Reiki Training. So if you guys are interested in learning Reiki, becoming Reiki certified, allow me to be your master. I will help train you and get you to where you need to be so that you can get certified and you can start healing yourself and others. And that cycle, the next cycle, starts November 1st. So make sure that you are enrolling today so that you can get all of your course material and go through orientation week before this cycle starts. So I love you guys very much, and I will see you on the next one. Bye. All right, hello, my lovely pile number 3s. This is for those of you who have chosen the Palo Santo. So today's reading is going to go a bit differently than how we usually do it. I only have one oracle card on the table right now, so we're going to flip that over, and once we do, we're going to get into these other cards that I have, which I have not divined with before. And so we have these cards that are really good at allowing us to see darker, deeper elements and things that we just, you know, may not want to look at. So we're going to dive into these guys and pull out a couple and see what's going on for you. But let's go ahead and see what this first card is for us. We have Moonlight Goddess. And let me go ahead and read because it's in reverse. Repressed emotions, healing, and reflection. So interesting. Moonlight Goddess, repressed emotions, healing, and reflection in reverse. Let's go ahead and get some of these cards on the table here. See what your shadow self has to say for your month. Good. Let's get a couple more. Okay, and honestly guys, this is too many, so I'm going to pop it back in. If these cards still need to pop out, they will, but I usually like to take only 1 or 2 at a time. 3 is too many. I'm going to pop this one out because this one seemed like it wanted to. Okay. All right. So give me a moment here to collect all the messages in these cards for you guys. Okay. Okay, so for you guys, pile number 3, we have a couple different messages. They're a little bit scattered. I'm hoping that once we get to some more oracle cards, we're gonna have a little bit more confirmation and clarity. But what I'm seeing for you guys, honestly, for a lot of you guys in pile number 3, you might truly be struggling. And maybe you're like masking really well. So on the outside, everything's going well. Maybe like your social life is going well. I feel like ultimately you guys aren't struggling in every single part of life, but there is like an internal struggle that you do have going on. And I think that it's actually gaining a bit more momentum. And so your shadow self really wants to bring this out to you before it gets too much to handle. And that's why we're here. So I'm sorry if you guys wanted to come here today and be like, oh my God, what are all my blessings for October? We're talking about the shadow self right now. So it's not that we're necessarily talking about misfortune. And honestly, you can even take this as a blessing to become aware of the things that maybe you don't want to look at right now so that we can face them and shed some truth and some light into them, integrate them, and then be happier later on. But like I'm saying, it's not necessarily that we're talking about misfortune. We're just talking about something that you don't want to look at, really. Like you're like, I don't want to talk about that. And for you guys, pile number 3 is, I feel like you guys, whatever you're going through is no joke. I feel like you guys have some addictions that you're going through, whether they're emotional addictions, physical addictions. I can name out a couple if you guys want. Like some of these addictions I'm seeing are like retail shopping addictions, where it's like getting a little bit too overboard to where you're spending money that you don't have at this point. What I see is that like you guys go to the store and like grab something that you may or may not need and like say, well, if it doesn't work out, I'll return it. And then you come home and it does not work. And then you're like, well, you know, I'll keep it anyway. And like you still don't return it, or maybe you keep forgetting to return it. And so you're not getting your money back on something that you're not even using. And then it gets too long and you can't return it anymore. So I see like retail shopping like that. I see alcoholism. I see, some other forms of substance abuse as well. I'm seeing like even with your dieting, so sorry with the trigger warning, I probably should have said trigger warning, but some dietary things, maybe overindulging or underindulging in certain areas of your diets. I also see social media addictions, internet addictions. For some of you guys, it's social addictions where you guys are not spending enough time by yourself, for yourself. You guys continuously find another person to kind of latch onto, or, you know, socialize with, or detach from reality with. Some of you guys, because of that specifically, are in toxic relationships, and I don't know if you see that you're in a toxic relationship yet, but you definitely will, probably sooner rather than later. And let me see if there's anything else in here. Casino gambling is what I'm also seeing for an addiction here. And I'm gonna, is there anything else in here that we want to say? Shadow self. A bit of like a sex and romantic addiction as well is what I'm picking out for some of you guys. So I just kind of wanted to throw them out there and call them out by name and specific, because that's what we're here to do. We're here to call them out by name. And for some of you guys, you don't label yourself as your addiction. You're not like, oh yeah, I know that I'm an alcoholic. It's probably been like maybe a couple months, or maybe over the course of like a year, where it wasn't so serious and it started off, you know, not so bad, but now it's kind of picking up that momentum where we're at almost like our first or second turning point, and we're like, okay, I could stop, or like I don't want to stop, or like, you know, what's going on? Am I going to continue doing this just because it's giving me instant gratification? Am I going to do the shadow work and talk to my shadow self and figure out how we can alchemize whatever it is that I'm going through so that this doesn't have to turn into something more serious down the road? So what we're doing here by calling these things out is just letting you know, if I said one of those things and you're like, oh, well, I didn't necessarily consider myself that, but now that you're saying it, I can see the parallels and I can see some sort of resonance. That's exactly what we're here to do. We're here to call out your shadows by their name so then we can bring them up into the light and integrate them, okay? So with all of that being said, I know what you guys are seeking ultimately is inner peace. And when I'm talking about inner peace, I mean mind, body, and soul. But for some of you guys, a lot of it is weighing heavy on your mentality. I think that you guys are doing what you're doing for like a stress fix. You guys are doing it, maybe not necessarily like, okay, I'm doing it because I want to like F up my life. Like, no. Some people are like, yes, I want to F up my life and I want to keep doing this. But that's usually people who are really far gone into this lifestyle. And for you guys, like I said, a lot of it is just kind of like the first turning point or like the second turning point for you, where it's like something that could be nipped in the bud right now, or at least looked at, and you know, you can be aware of it right now, and then take some sort of steps to get into a different position and pivot yourself into a direction that you rather go. So this is really just like, hey, we're just holding up a quick mirror, seeing some sort of slight imperfections in what's going on, and then we can get ahead of it, right? You're not really so far gone that it's like going to be so much of an upheaval of like getting to the root of all of this, you know? You guys have enough time to sit here and look at what's going on in your energy, figuring out, hey, this is really truly out of balance and I no longer wish to live with this, continuing to know that it's out of balance, so I'm going to do something about it. That's what we're doing here. So a lot of this has to deal with your mentality and your mindset. A lot of you guys are not getting good dreams, and so I'm seeing like sleeping pills or some sort of like thing that you guys can do to allow yourself to sleep better, but it's not working, and it's because your mind is overworked and your mind is overdoing its part right now. It may be best for you guys to really ground yourselves, and if you have followed this channel for at least a little bit now, you know that at least once in one pile I say ground yourself, and I tell you guys how to do it. So a lot of the times in modern day spirituality, when we're talking about grounding ourselves, all you're gonna hear is close your eyes, think of your root, and think of a red circle at the base of your spine, and then you're grounded. That is a great way to mentally think your way into grounding, but that's only still a relaxation technique, and relaxing is great because once you get into a relaxed state, your body will naturally start to heal itself. But you guys are not going to actually feel the true effects of grounding if you're not actually doing it. So to actually physically ground, you're gonna have to go out into nature and have skin to earth contact. So whether that is gardening, whether that is walking barefoot on grass or on the beach or sitting next to a tree and having that connection with the tree, having that connection with plants and nature, that's going to be super important for you. A lot of the times too, if you guys are not able to go outside and ground, maybe you live in a community where there are a lot of dogs and you don't want to step on the grass with your bare feet, maybe it's really cold, or you know, if it ever gets snowy where you are and the ground is frozen, you can't, then what I suggest is going outside, getting 2 rocks, and offering the earth something as an exchange. So if you're going to take 2 rocks from the earth, then exchange something, whether it's your prayers, good energy, some tobacco, whatever it is to you, whatever is something meaningful to you, that you would like to offer to the earth. Then you can grab your 2 stones, make sure that they're about the size of your palm. You can rinse them under some water, ask the stones permission to help ground you, and you can put them in your socks. And now you can watch TV, or you can meditate, or you can just lay down and breathe. You can do some stretches, whatever it is that you want to do, but you can lay down and just allow yourself to push everything that's stressing you out, or push everything that you don't want in your body, which could be the addictions, which could be anger, it could be frustration, it could be insecurities, it could be literally anything that you don't want to be feeling in your body. Push that into the rocks, and do so for at least 20 minutes every single day. We are creatures that come from the earth. We are the same as the earth. We need to be integrating with the earth, and we need to be doing those energetic exchanges with the earth. But because we have evolved into a lifestyle where we have shoes now and lots of barriers in between us and the ground, and we have lots of barriers in terms of like we're living in 4 walls, and you know, we're always indoors with our technology, like we need to tap back into Mother Earth. And so right now, that is probably the best the best practice or technique that you can incorporate into your daily lifestyle to help you with that. And I will say that if you have not done some sort of grounding in a very long time, shoot for, and I'm just saying shoot for, I'm not saying that it's going to happen, but shoot for at least an hour. Like, see what an hour outside grounding, having that skin to earth contact is going to do for you. But of course, if you have a little bit of, you know, a short attention span or like a lack of patience, and you really have to get going and do all these different things, then at least focus on 20 minutes daily. And that will definitely help you and improve your mentality. It'll improve your physical being and help detox you in that way. And it's really going to help you emotionally as well. So that's that on that when it comes to grounding. When you ground and when you do something like that, again, it's going to help balance you. That's like one of the truest ways to balance your own chakras. So if you're not resonating with a whole bunch of people's advice on how to get your life back on track, or if you're not really resonating on how to, you know, cope with your emotions or regulate your emotions, then just go outside and ground real quick, or grab some rocks and ground real quick and see what that does for you. It literally hurts no one to go ahead and do so, and it's only going to benefit you. It will help with your sleep over some time. It will help with your emotions over some time. It'll help with your mentality over some time. And I'm saying, like, it'll greatly, like, significantly enhance and balance these things for you. I will ground, and sometimes I'm not perfect at it, but I will go ahead and ground when I'm not having a very good day, and I will instantly start to reap the benefits of grounding as I'm doing it. So it's not that you have to wait a very long time. It's that with anything that is meant to help you or heal you, you're going to have to do it semi-consistently or on a frequent basis, but you will still feel the instant gratification of it. And I know that you guys are all about instant gratification, right? I'm teasing, but I want to just point that technique out for you guys so that you guys have something physical and tangible that you can do to help you that maybe you have not heard of yet before. So we have all that here. I do want to point out this one last card, which is what I kind of focused on at the very beginning of all of this, which is the Devil card, which I'm not sure if you guys had seen, and I just want to let you know that you have this card in here to let you know that these people who are here right now, it looks like they are being chained by this, you know, monster, and they're being held against their will. I want to let you know that they're not necessarily being held against their will. It's almost like they were tempted so much by this monster that they are choosing to stay here, right? They're choosing this. They can take those chains right off. It's not that, you know, they're being held there beyond their control or beyond their consent. They're consenting to stay here, but the longer that they stay, the harder it is to kind of get out. You know what I mean? So that's what we have for the Devil card, and I just wanted to like introduce that and let you guys know that that card was there, not to scare you by any means, but because your shadow self really wants you to kind of see, like, hey, when we are really in our like material like world and we're not connecting to our inner world as much, and we're not connecting to our spirit self as much, we can really start to kind of form and cast like a dark cloud over ourselves, and then that will soon be all that we know, and it gets harder to move past that dark cloud if we're not catching it at the beginning. So I wanted to let you guys know that. And we also had that paired with the Material Happiness card, which is in a place of being upright, but because it's paired with all of these other cards, it's not necessarily like, oh yay, material happiness, and like it's perfect, everything's good. It's like, oh, material happiness, yes, but a little bit too much in excess when paired with this Devil card. So I'm gonna go ahead and take a couple cards from this oracle deck over here, see if there's anything else that your shadow self wants to say to you today. Adjustments are required, and look how dark this card is as well. There's like a lot of light cards here, like light blues, light purples, reds, orange, yellow, and like this is like one of the only like dark cards in here, and we have that. And not to say that dark is evil or dark is bad, we're literally talking about the shadow self today, but it's just to let you know like where you may be energetically. And of course it's not in all areas of your life, which I had mentioned earlier. I feel like this is just an area of your life that you have not been wanting to look at because you've been happy with instant gratification because it's soothing you to some degree, but it's not a long-lasting thing that's helping you in the long run. And let me see if there's anything else. Oh, that was very fast. It jumped out. A new romantic cycle begins, and it's a place of challenges. I want to pop out one more card before I get into that one. And then we have here a time for healing, but it's in a place of challenges right now. So maybe we don't know what it's going to take for us to feel healed. Maybe we don't know what to do. And that's why I wanted to mention that grounding technique for you guys, so that you can have something to do that maybe you have not heard of yet. And if you feel like you cannot do this alone, you guys, you don't have to. You can go and seek a healer. You can go and seek someone. You can go and seek a private one-on-one session. You can go and seek someone who can help you on an energetic level, or whatever kind of level you feel that you need help on. So if you feel like this is a little bit too much for you, or you just don't have the knowledge and education, or maybe you can't hold yourself accountable, that's perfectly fine. Someone else would be happy to do so. And there's so many different kinds of healers and individuals with amazing talents and amazing gifts that can help you with whatever it is that you're going through. So keep that in mind. Now, a new romantic cycle begins, and we have that paired here with this Moonlight Goddess card, repressed emotions, healing, reflection. Some of you guys may have been suffering the kind of like echoes and the backlash of some sort of romance that did not end up working out for you guys. So I can see that energy here that's still lingering within you, that needs to be healed and looked upon and reflected on. And then there's also a lot of you guys who may be worried about getting into a new romantic relationship, even though you find that this person is like perfect for you. And if you had, if you were balanced, or if you were coping healthily, or if you were the exact version of yourself that you wanted to be at this moment, it would be a no-brainer to get with them at this moment. But there's something that's holding you back, and it's all of this that's holding you back. So even though this person's treating you amazing, even though this person is like the best person you've met in a very long time, you're like hesitating moving forward with them because you know that you have this kind of like darkness within you, which everyone has darkness, but it's your time to kind of like look at that darkness and face it and integrate it within your being and alchemize it, so that you can feel that you're balanced enough and whole enough to then entertain anyone else coming into your life. So my loves, this is all that I really have for you today. If you have any questions about what you heard in today's spread, you can go ahead and comment that down in this comment section down below, or you can email me at mystique.awakening@gmail.com. You can also set up a private one-on-one session to get more in-depth details about what your energy is looking like for the month of October, and how you can get into your desired reality and help you manifest a little bit. You can do so by going to mystiqueawakening.com and going to services. If you're interested in a mid-month check-in where we go a little bit more in detail about the middle of your month, of what that's going to look like for you, we do have that going on my Mystic members platform. So for that, you can go to mystiqueawakening.com again, and then you can click become a Mystic member. And of course, last but not least, we do have Reiki training going on. Our next cycle does start on November 1st. So if you're interested in learning Reiki, becoming Reiki certified, and healing yourself and other people, you can absolutely do so. Make sure that you're enrolling today at mystiqueawakening.com and click start the journey or Reiki training, so that you can get all of your course materials and get through that orientation week before training starts. I love you guys very much, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.